What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. What I do here is I break down the occult sciences and I break them down to a very practical degree so that you can simply use them and apply them in your day-to-day life and get real, actual results with exactly what it is that I'm teaching here on my public channel, okay? Welcome in to all the reoccurring viewers and subscribers. I'm always glad to have you in here. But let me also give a little bit of a perspective on who I am for those of you who are newcomers, okay? My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck. And I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology, okay? So, what exactly are we going to be talking about in this today's video? I'm specifically going to be talking about why you do not ever want to sell your soul, okay? I know that in the spiritual community, specifically the left-hand path and specifically the darker side of it, there is a common idea that selling your soul is something that is beneficial and something that you should do. There are truly a lot of people who actually believe that and think that's true. And once again, what I'm going to be talking about in very much depth within this video is exactly why you don't want to be doing that. And I'm going to be sharing some of the deeper level principles that go behind the reason why you wouldn't want to do that and some of the reasons why your soul is so valuable, and potentially there could be things out there that are looking to take advantage of your soul, okay? And one of those ways that that can filtrate is through selling it, okay? Now, obviously, I'm also aware there are a lot of people who are already on board with not selling their soul. There's actually a lot more people who are already on board with that. But once again, this is just a little bit more niched in to this general category of individuals who are a little bit confused on this subject, okay? So, if you want to know a little bit more as to why you should not sell your soul, then this is definitely going to be the video that is for you. And if you know anybody else that needs to hear this, feel free to share it with them. But other than that, I will see you on the other side. Okay, so let's go into it. So obviously, as I mentioned from the beginning of the intro, there is the general population is well on board with not wanting to sell their soul, okay? Then specifically when we zoom into the spiritual community, and then when we zoom into the left-hand path of the spiritual community, there tends to be a lot more willingness to sell souls. And this is because people that gravitate towards the left-hand path often feel super comfortable with entities that are known to be left-hand path entities, darker entities. And people will get so close with some of these entities that they really feel like it's time to sell their souls. And it's time to, I don't fully understand. I actually don't. I don't fully understand why someone would truly want to sell their soul to another being, to another entity, okay? The only thing that I could really wrap my mind around is if people think that they're going to get money, power, respect, and all these wonderful, nice things in return for their soul, and that would be the main cause as to why they're doing it in the first place. That could make a little bit more sense, and that is even what Hollywood promotes. Sell your soul to the devil and you get a million things in return. What's that Kanye West lyric? Sold my soul to the devil. It was a crappy deal. At least it came with a couple toys like a Happy Meal, okay? So, with that being said, I'm really going to be sharing my information, my knowledge, my perspective, my wisdom and understanding, as I've mentioned, as being a professional occultist who knows a lot about this subject. So, when it comes to the individuals that want to sell their souls, people that think that that might be a good idea, let's first start with understanding what your soul is, okay? The soul is you, okay? It is your energetic makeup, okay? Your soul is the uniqueness of who and what you are, okay? Your spirit and your soul are intertwined together. Your spirit carries your soul, okay? Everyone has a spirit. The spirit is self-similar in nature. The spirit is always the source within something, okay? It's that energy that moves people towards the source in a subtle way. Now, the soul is your own individualized and unique energetic makeup. That is who you are. Okay, so the soul from one person to another person is going to differ. There are some profound differences between different types of souls. Okay, different energetic patterns and things of that nature. Okay, so when we're looking at the soul, we're truly looking at the aspect of a person that is with them permanently on an energetic level. So what that means is that no matter how many lives you've lived in your life, no matter how many lifetimes you've previously had in your past, and however many lifetimes you're going to live that are in your future, your soul remains the same soul throughout every single life. Now, the soul also evolves as well, which means it grows, it adapts, it changes through different forms of alchemy. But overall, it is that same soul that stays with you till the end of your existence, which truly, to my knowledge, is endless. It's infinite in nature. Okay? So the soul is what is uniquely a part of you and what separates you from other things. Now, other things also have souls as well, but what I'm saying when I say what separates you is, I mean, your soul, as I mentioned, is unique compared to another person's soul or another thing's soul. Okay? So as I was saying, the soul is what stays with you for basically infinity, for eternity. Okay? So this can also bring up the question of, is it even possible to sell your soul? And the true answer, look, the true, raw, honest answer to this question is it's actually not possible to permanently sell your soul, okay? Now, there are things that selling your soul does in regards to the energetic makeup of you and your connection to your soul, okay? So this is really what I wanted to get into, and this is what is a little bit more nuanced than what a lot of people probably understand, okay? So why is it unbeneficial to sell your soul to anyone, whether it's a person, whether it's an entity, you name it? Why is it unbeneficial? Because the soul represents you to its truest and deepest degree. Truly, what your soul is your higher self. Now, there are many different facets to your higher self and even different aspects, but if you could think about the highest version of yourself, literally, your ultimate highest potential, that is the pure essence of your soul. Okay, that is the energetic aspect of you that made all the right decisions and learned how to maneuver through the archetypal mind and initiate itself through the densities. That is your soul. Okay, so with that knowledge, obviously selling your soul is going to create an energetic separation between you as the person who's trying to sell their soul, which is going to be someone that is in the third density, okay? So beings that are in the fourth density and higher, they're not going to be selling their souls, and they're not going to be trying to sell their souls. The reason is because they're not dealing with the veil of forgetting, okay? They're not dealing with the unawareness that selling your soul, one, is impossible, and two, it is not beneficial for the being itself. So it's only within physical existence with these chemical bodies, with our brains, our bones, our neurological structures, things in that nature, where we forget our true roots. We truly forget where we actually come from, who we actually are, what is our connection to the all. Right? These are all things that we forgot, and this is a part of this experience. It's not wrong, it's not bad, this is a part of it. And part of this evolution within the third density is re-remembering. Okay, so that's literally what I'm doing here. I'm helping you as the listener to re-remember some of these key principles. Now, it is only within the third density as the human species and other third density planets where selling the soul would actually be something considered. Okay, that's because obviously if you don't remember where you're from and you don't truly know who you are, then you're obviously at a much higher likelihood to sell your soul or to think that that's something that would benefit you. Okay? Now, the reality is that when you sell your soul, what you're doing is you're giving your truest self, you're giving an aspect of yourself, a very potent and a very deep, a very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Intimate, a very intimate part of yourself. You're giving that away to something or someone else, okay? Now, in the act of giving away that part of you, giving away that intimate part of yourself, that very deep layered, true part of yourself. Obviously, there's going to be reasons as to why you're doing that. I don't know what those reasons are, but as you're giving it away, you're now creating a separation within yourself. So there's a stronger separation that starts to take place between your mind, specifically within the conscious and the subconscious. Okay, so you're separating yourself from your soul. You can think of it like this. You're making it less likely that you are having successful contact with your own higher self when you go to sell your soul when you go to sell your soul to someone or something. And this is one of the keys that you need to understand, especially if you're in the occult field and you've come across people that are talking about you should sell your soul and get power in return. The reality is that there are entities, many of them, that will willingly take the opportunity to take your soul energy and will give you things in return to show you that what you did was the right choice and, a good decision. They may orchestrate a couple things in your physical reality to be, more beneficial and whatever. They may align something for you, very briefly. But then what you'll come to find out is you are unsatisfied with your new life. You're unsatisfied with the new lifestyle that manifested from selling your soul. You're unsatisfied because you feel like you're missing an internal part of your true self. And once again, that is the purpose as to why there are certain entities that will accept and even persuade you to sell your soul to them for money, wealth, social circles, new type of physical reality in return, okay? The entities that take your soul energy, because the soul is energy, that is your purest energy field. It's your purest form of your energy body. That is what your soul is. It is your aura, okay? The soul makes up the majority of your aura. So when you're freely, with your own willpower, giving that up to something, it is now able to take that energy, that pure energy, that deep energy, and it can use it to its own benefits. It can use it to whatever it wants to use it for and however it's going to do it. And that will benefit whatever it was that took your soul energy. Now, once again, we're talking about energy, and energy is always in movement. So there is no, once again, such thing as permanently selling your soul or permanently losing your soul. Everything, no matter how shelled it is or no matter how lost it is at some form in a position to make evolutionary progression. Everything is evolving to some degree. Now, obviously, some things are going a lot faster than others. But once again, there is no permanent selling your soul. So it's not like if you're listening to this video and you fell into this trap and you ended up doing something similar to this, you're not screwed forever, okay? You just have some work to do. There's some karma that's going to be in place to what you've done, which means cause and effect. If you sold your soul, then you're going to have to deal with the effect of not having that strong of a connection to your own higher self, your own true self. And once you reestablish that connection, once you go through that process of reintegration or reintegrating your true self, then you can get back to where you left off and even go farther because you learned a very valuable lesson from the entire experience. Okay, so you're not screwed. It's not a permanent thing. You're not damned and you're going to go to hell after you die. Okay, that's all religious dogma and programming. Okay, but once again, when you are freely giving up your soul's energy, you're creating a bigger opportunity within yourself for other things to influence you now, for things to influence you in an unbeneficial way, where these things can actually start controlling you. Because the more you're separating from your true self, if you think about it, your true self being your higher self, that's the part of you that is always looking out for you. A lot of people neglect this, okay? A lot of people forget about this. The entity that is always looking out for your best interest at all times is going to be your own higher self. That is literally the most important entity that exists in your life experience, okay? Now, obviously, if there are entities that understand this information I'm talking about and they want to create a separation within you and then influence you to start giving them power, then the first thing they're going to try to do is separate you from your higher self. And one of those ways of separating someone from their higher self is by selling your soul. But it has to be something that you agree to. It has to be something that you are conscious of what you're doing to a degree where you are accepting the fact that you're selling your soul. But what is unconscious to most people who fall into this trap is that they don't know what they're doing is going to affect them in an unbeneficial way. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, it's okay, you know, I know someone else who did it and they got wonderful things and they said all this wonderful stuff. Or this entity is saying that it wants me to do this and it's going to give me this in return, and whatever the case is. It has to be something that you are aware of what you're doing and you consciously agree to it. But once again, that does not mean that you're aware that what you're doing is actually going to benefit you. Every single time, if you're selling your soul, it is going to affect you in an unbeneficial way. It is going to further separate you from your higher self, from your truer self. Think about it like this. Your own higher self is looking at you, is watching you. It's observing you from a different dimension. And now you're here in this dimension and you don't fully understand your higher self. And now you have some entity, I don't care what entity it is, but the entity is saying, you should sell your soul to me. Come sell your soul to me. The entity starts manifesting situations in your life where people are saying, you should sell your soul. I've done it, this and that, and this and that. And next thing you know, you start thinking, oh, well, you know, I think I should sell my soul. Meanwhile, your own higher self is observing you and looking at you saying, are you actually going to do it though? You know, are you actually going to go through with it? And at that point, I'm sure your higher self is going to try to manifest opportunity in situations that prevent you from going through with it. But a lot of times people are ignorant and they go against their intuition and they go through with it because they're thinking about what can I get in return? You know, I'm going to get protection, I'm going to get money, I'm going to get power, I'm going to get all these things. Once again, this is what Hollywood promotes when they talk about the devil and selling your soul for power in return, things of that nature. But in reality, once again, your higher self is looking at you, trying to prevent you from going through with it. And then let's say, hypothetically, you actually go through with it. Now your higher self is like, all right, you're obviously not a version, you're not an aspect of me that is fully taking advantage of your highest evolutionary potential. So therefore, I'm going to have to spend more time and energy on other aspects of you, okay? So I know this can be a little bit hard to follow and to make sense out of. So there are many versions of yourself that exist in the multiverse. There are versions that are connected to your past lives. And once again, there are versions that are in your future. There are versions of you that carry the same soul that are all existing in this present moment right now. But based on how we perceive time in our dimension as the humans, some of these experiences haven't even happened yet. That's just how we perceive time. But then when we go into the higher dimensions, time itself starts to change. Past, present, and future all mesh together into the present moments. So everything on its deepest root is all happening right now. And your higher self has to spend time and energy focusing on specific aspects of you to make sure that you are evolving closer to your higher self. That is the ultimate goal of what the higher self does. The The higher self exists in a higher density and looks backwards to try to guide you back to it, okay? And once again, if you're someone who sells your soul, you're basically communicating to your own higher self that you are ignorant to a degree that you are willing to degrade your own soul connection and miss out on some of that really profound intuitive knowing that you have, and then allow something else to influence you instead, okay? So this is why it is very unbeneficial to sell your soul, okay? It's very simple, it's very practical. It is separating you from your higher self. And once again, when there's a separation that takes place between you and your soul, there is much more opportunity for something to come in between that. Much more opportunity for something else that is not looking out for your best interests, that is not your higher self, to start influencing your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions, and now you're stuck in a point where, you know, you don't have that strong intuitive knowing anymore. You are forgetting about what life is all about, and you're not allowing yourself to sit in silence and process what you've done and what it actually means and all those things. And those things build a momentum and oftentimes lead a person to going downhill. They lead a person to going down a pathway that is ultimately going to result in their own destruction. Because whatever else can get between you and your soul, you know, it's going to start taking energy from you. And to take energy from a person is to slowly destroy them, is to slowly cause them to degrade on a soul level. So the more it can keep you separated, the more you're going to spiral downwards. And this can all be triggered, and this can all take place when you sell your soul. Now, I have a lot more knowledge on souls and, you know, how selling souls actually functions and things like that I'm not going to be covering in this video. For example, there are many ways to sell your soul and not even be an occultist. So when it comes to getting a piece of paper and signing a contract with whatever entity you're selling your soul to, there are ways to sell your soul without having that very conscious contract in place. You can sell your soul to companies. You can sell your soul to corporations. You can sell your soul to certain people, employers, bosses, managers, you name it. These are going to be the type of people that will try to take your souls. And, you know, at the end of the day, when you're going against your own intuition and you're doing something because you think it's going to give you monetary value or monetary gain, not soul evolutionary gain, then if you're making let's say a deal with somebody saying that I will suppress myself as long as you give me this, this, and this, and this in return, that is a form of selling your soul. Now, you know, don't take this too crazy or too personal and start looking and overanalyzing every situation you've been through in your life. And, you know, did I sell my soul there? Did I sell my soul there? You know, I hope I don't sell my soul, you know, in the future, whatever. Don't overthink it. It's not that big of a deal. But if you, for example, if you're working for a corporation and you feel like you have a better opportunity to do something on your own, or you have a gift, and this gift, let's say, is communication. You have a gift of communication, and this company hires you, and they say, well, you know, we don't want you to be a communicator for us. We want you to be someone who documents information and types it all out on the computer system, and we'll give you a raise, we'll give you good benefits, we'll make sure you're locked in, and you are even in a position where you can train other people. We'll make sure you're taken care of, but you're going to have to sign this contract that says you will continue doing this job for this amount of time, and once you sign it, you are going to be locked in. Now, if you're this type of person in this example, and you know that you don't want to be doing that, and that you have more opportunity to do something that is more in alignment with your intuition or your soul's potential, or something that feels better for you, something that feels more right for you, then that can be a form of selling your soul as well. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, but once again, it definitely does take place in regards to dealing with entities and setting up a contract and writing it out on a piece of paper and actually selling your soul. There is a difference between making a contract and just completely selling your soul. Okay, You can make a soul contract, which is not the same thing as selling your soul. A soul contract is saying that you are putting your soul on the line, meaning you are willing to do this and either be successful doing it, or you're going to lose your soul in the process. That is a very powerful way to open up doorways of initiation. It's a very powerful way to open up spiritual gateways, let's put it that way. That is what a soul contract is. But when you're completely selling your soul in a contract format, saying, hey, I'm giving you my soul, that's when you're actually creating separation within yourself. Okay, but once again, it's not permanent. It could be a long time, could be years, could be your entire lifetime, but at some point you will work through that karma. You will work through that cause and effect and reprocess what you've done and then pursue a different pathway at some point in your evolution. Okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, definitely come down here and hit the thumbs up button. Also come down here and hit the notification bell because I post videos as often as I can. And obviously with content like this, you do not want to be missing out, okay? Then come down here and hit the subscribe button because literally, you know, you might as well subscribe if you're not subscribed, okay? Especially if you're getting value from this information, because there really is a psychic principle to hitting that subscribe button, which will further link you into the contents. So if you want to further link in, subscribe. Okay. Next thing I want to say is you have my full permission to copy and paste the link to this video and send it out to anybody, family, friends, social media platforms, you name it. You have my full permission. My intention is to spread this content like a wildfire and to increase my empire in the process. And that is exactly what has been taking place. So let's continue to do that. Okay. Next thing I want to say is if you come right down here, you're going to see my Instagram. Go ahead and add me on Instagram. Super easy to type in, JER_477. Follow me on social media platforms, okay? Next thing I want to say is if you want to take advantage of joining a private Facebook community, you can definitely do so. Click that arrow drop down in the YouTube description, scroll down. You're eventually going to come across a post that says private Facebook community. Yes, private, okay? Follow the link that is right next to that post. Follow where that takes you, then you can request to join and I will add you in. At this point, we have well over 600 members. There are people posting on a daily basis, and I will attest from personal observation, there is tons of valuable information that is getting posted in that group, okay? If you want to take advantage of joining, you know where to go, all right? Now I'm going to take your awareness to literally the most important link within the entirety of the YouTube description. Okay, so this is going to be the first link in the YouTube description. You cannot miss it. This is where you can join my Patreon, okay? On my Patreon, I have an entire vault of exclusive occult content. None of this content is on my public YouTube channel, and that is for many different reasons, mainly because it is not meant for the public. It's only meant for people who are investing a little bit more time and energy into themselves. Okay, I have content that's in the form of videos that are very similar to this one. I have content in the form of very long live streams that are question answer. And then I have practical content that actually gives you really powerful occult practices that you can watch me perform and then perform yourself. Okay, and all these different forms of content are going to be more personal and more advanced than what you're getting on my public YouTube channel. Okay. Now, as you move into tier 3 and up, you are gaining access to the entire magic training course, which I feel like would be extremely valuable for anyone specifically who is taking their knowledge, practices, and studies to that next level, okay? Especially if you're a beginner occultist as well, okay? It gives you a structure to follow. A lot of people need that, okay? Then as you move into tier 4, this is the highest tier of the Patreon. Not only is this the highest tier, but this is also the most popular tier of the Patreon. This is what's called the Universe B Vampire Service. What this is this is a service that I perform on the 29th of every single month that has a 29th. And I perform it on all of the pre-existing participants as well as all the new participants that are top tier members. And it's designed to change the entire energetic structure of these individuals to be more so Universe B dominant, okay, to further their negative polarity, okay? So what this means is that these types of individuals now have an ability to exist within the darker areas of our multiverse, the more negative areas of our multiverse, without being harmed by them directly, but rather developing knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and potential power from them instead. Okay? This also gives these individuals a deeper ability to be receptive to their own unconscious and subconscious mind, which is feminine in nature, and it gives them a psychic capability to pull in dark energy and chaos from their environment to then transmute into their own power and evolutionary potential. Okay, this is a very powerful service. I've been doing it for over a year at this point. There's been over 1,000 people that have taken advantage of the service, and I get tons of great feedback. Okay, if this is something that you feel like you want to take advantage of, you know what to do. First link in the YouTube description, tier 4. We're going to leave it there. Okay? Then let me say this actually. Next thing I want to do is give a special shout out to all of the Patreon members. Okay? Specifically for taking your knowledge, practices, studies to that next level. Okay? Big shout out to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Now, as we move into the second link below, this is also within the YouTube description. You can't miss it. This is where you can book your own personalized tarot card reading with me. This is a very unique tarot card reading that I promise you've never received before. Okay, I can promise that. The reason is because I am a professional occultist, which means I understand the Kabbalistic tree way more than the average person. Okay, so what I can do is I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on that Kabbalistic tree. I can tell you what you're feeling, experiencing, and going through in the present moment, and then tell you what to expect moving into your near and your long-term future based on your placement and your positioning on that tree itself. Okay? Very valuable information, if I do say so myself. So I've done well over 650 readings, tons of valuable feedback. If you want to book this, second link below, check it out. Okay? Then as we move into the third link below, this is where you can become a YouTube member. Okay? You can join to become a YouTube member at that third link. You can't miss it. Now, as you become a YouTube member, you're gaining access to many different types of benefits. You're entering into the YouTube community with all the other members. You get special shout-outs whenever I do live streams. You have an ability to leave a question that appears in the same format as a super chat every single month that you're a member as well. But most importantly, you are gaining access to what I call, and I've designed myself, called the Psychic Warfare Emoji Program. Okay? So as soon as you become a YouTube member, you are gaining access to a sequence of emojis that can be used in a specific configuration. And then you link in the name of a target, you hit enter, and it actually causes psychic damage to the target. Okay? This is the most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare through the internet platform. Now, there are close to 2,000 posts where individuals have taken advantage of this, and there are even individuals right now in this moment that are doing it as we speak. Okay? If this is something that you want to tap into yourself, then you know what to do. Third link below, become a YouTube member. We'll leave it there. All right? Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in the very near future. Peace.